viewers, we have breaking news coming in. Supreme Court has stayed the Bombay High Court judgment that acquitted 12 accused people in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast case. So the Supreme Court has stayed the High Court's order in the case of acquittal of the 12 accused in the Mumbai train blast case. So remember, the High Court had recently acquitted 12 convicts in connection with the 2006 Mumbai train blast case. However, the case also reached the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has now stayed the High Court's judgment. So the Bombay High Court had acquitted all the 12 accused in the 2006 Mumbai serial train blast case, and it had overturned a 2015 verdict by a special Makoka court that had sentenced 5 of them to death and 7 to life imprisonment. However, the Bombay High Court had said that there is not enough proof in the case. Let's get all the updates. Rhythm, my colleague, is now joining us for more on that story. Rhythm, the Bombay High Court had acquitted all the 12 accused in the 2006 Mumbai serial train blast case, and now the Supreme Court had stayed that order. Give us more details. All right, we'll try to connect back with the Rhythm, but we do know that Maharashtra had challenged the acquittal of the Mumbai train blasts accused in the Supreme Court, and this after the High Court judgment that was delivered on Monday, and the Maharashtra government had approached the Supreme Court challenging the Bombay High Court's verdict, acquitting all the 4 people convicted in the 2006 Mumbai train blast case. All right, let's get all the updates. All right, Aditya, our colleague, is now joining us from outside the Supreme Court. Aditya, what are the details that you can give us?
Yeah, first of all, is that the Supreme Court has today stayed the judgment of Bombay High Court up to an extent that the findings of the Bombay High Court will not be applicable in the MCOCA trials pending or the matters which are sub judice. The second, the state has asked for a stay order up to an extent, but there was certain amount of clarification required that whether the accused who has been released by the court order has clarified that the accused were released by the order of the Bombay High Court will not be arrested. This stay order is much like a limited stay order, which limits the stay.
All right, there seems to be an audio problem there, but we'll try to connect back with our reporter. But what is the big story that we are tracking right now is the Supreme Court staying the High Court's verdict as far as the 2006 Mumbai serial blast case is concerned. The High Court had ordered the acquittal of all the 12 accused in the case, and it had overturned the earlier order, the 2015 order, in which the special Makoka court had ordered for the convictions of the convict, and that had resulted in 5 death sentences and 7 life imprisonments. But the High Court had found that the prosecution had failed to prove its case, and now the Supreme Court has put a stay on that order. Remember, Maharashtra government had approached the Supreme Court over the case. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had described the verdict as shocking, and he said that his government is going to take the matter to the apex court, following which a case was filed at the Supreme Court, and now the Supreme Court has stayed that order. Remember, the attacks, the 2006 attacks were among the deadliest in India's history, And there were 7 coordinated explosions on Mumbai suburban trains during the evening rush hours. And the blast had caused devastation across the city's Western Railway line, and of course had led to a widespread national outrage as well.